Do zombies even have blood, though?
Wait, are vampires immortal?
Yeah, but
And
zombies are undead.
Oh, that's a conundrum.
Someone who smokes weed should listen to this and then give us the responses. Welcome back to the Turkeyverse, Turkey Tots.
Welcome back. Happy second week of Thanksgiving. 2024 is off to a great start. Happy second week of 2024.
I freaked you out because I said too much about a turkey. And then you still had Thanksgiving on the brain.
I did. I really did.
All right. Well, guys, we're here again, and we have, I guess, a list. I don't know. This was all Kayla's idea. That sounded like I was blaming her, but I'm really trying to give her credit. I feel like this was your genius, so you should probably intro it better than me.
Okay. I am really excited because I feel like with all things, I think we've maybe taken a slightly different path, but I'm sure it'll all connect. But I think I saw something on Instagram, and it made me think it would be funny to discuss and, rattle off some dumb questions or questions that make you think, or just like, what the fuck kind of questions, just weird stuff. So I've got a pretty good list. I have to shout out to this guy I found on Instagram because I had a few and then I found his page and these are basically all his. So Jesse Janelle. It's a great shout out. His whole TikTok and Instagram thing is I need answers. So these are all of his questions or thoughts. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I've got a handful. I think we can just, I don't know, we like to go back and forth and we can kind of discuss as we go. Not too much, but we can kind of go from there.
Well, okay, so Kayla kind of explained this to me as what are dumb thoughts that you think? And
I may have derailed it a little bit after we had our first conversation.
I'm excited. I think our lists are going to have a very different vibe, but I think it'll flow fine. I did not do research. I just was being mindful of this for the last 2 weeks while I've been prepping of what are dumb things that I've thought, or what are dumb just dumb beliefs that I have. I think this will all come together once I actually start reading through them. But as I was doing this again this morning, I was trying to journal everything through and have it go in some kind of a coherent order, that I just started posing all of them in the format of Did You Know?
Ooh, I like that.
Which I don't know, I like continuity, I think. So I worded them all that way, and then honestly, it got a little weird and it got a little deep, and I wasn't expecting that. I started off thinking that I was just doing all these random lists of questions that are legitimately dumb things, I think. Then they all sort of started, there's a recurring theme, and then I started wading more into that, and then things just, I don't know, it just took on life of its own. So then I had final conclusive thoughts. So you'll see. I think my list will sort of build. I'll wrap it at the end to pull it all together. It was honestly a really enlightening, self-discovery journey, and I was not expecting to have that. But maybe that is really on point for things you think when you're high, because I wasn't high. But this feels like a journey that someone could have taken if they'd sat and smoked a bowl and then stared at their ceiling for 5 hours. So
that'd be so funny. I may have to try it your way and see where I go with my Did You Know questions. Well, since yours are so succinct and congruent, do you want to just go through yours on your path of self-discovery, or how do you want to do it? No.
Let's do our every other game. It's more fun.
Okay.
I just wanted to preface this for the listeners in case they started to build in depth. It really wasn't intentional. It's just sort of how it happened.
We interrupt this show to let you guys know today's episode is brought to you by our new YouTube exclusive series called Poddle. Brought to you by us, Nonsexual Soulmates, the Puddle episodes are short and sweet, but they are actually far from sweet. Join us for our Saturday morning shit show where we explore the comedic dark side of today's topics and expand upon our long-form podcast shows by doing the exact antithesis of it. If you like rants and rage and a place for judgment, our first Puddle is live as of Halloween. Dropping every Saturday morning, check out the Puddle on YouTube. Now back to the show. So the question that led me to this topic was, was I thinking this or did someone say it? This is the problem with my memory. I don't even know. Are these my thoughts or are they someone else's? But anyway, it came about because I was telling you, like, can you get gas from a gas station when it's closed? Because when you say those words out loud, it's like, okay, well, the gas station's closed, which normally means you can't get gas. But like, it's a gas station. Can you still get gas? Okay. So that was like how we spawned onto this. But my first one, these are going to be so different, I have a feeling.
I can't wait.
If you choke a Smurf, what color do they turn?
Oh my God. Oh, darker blue? I have an answer to the gas station question.
Yeah, tell me.
It's that you have to pay at the pump with a credit card.
Well, yeah,
if there's no one inside.
Yeah.
No, but I wondered this sincerely, and you had brought this up to me, and then Jason and I were traveling on Christmas, and I was like, everything's closed. Are we going to be able to get gas? And then numerous signs were like, pumps available for credit and debit, or like, pay at the pump only, no attendant. Like there were multiple signs that said that, and I was like, oh, Kayla, I have the answer. Okay.
We've got an answer. I love it.
Some of these we've discussed in previous episodes. That's a caveat, but they were still really dumb things that I've thought and or done or experienced, so they came back. So my first one is, did you know that you can use microfiber cloths to clean the interior of your car, and then you won't get paper towel fuzzies all the time?
That was such like an enlightening moment. Did we have that moment on the podcast?
Yeah, early on, and it was a game changer.
So glad that you came to that conclusion. Oh my gosh. Okay. Are capris long shorts or short pants? Dun dun dun.
Oh my God. Okay.
Remember when capris were a thing though?
It gives me a shudder down my spine. Do you remember when clam diggers were a certain genre of capris?
No. But I remember gauchos.
We could have a whole other episode of Do You Remember? Did you know that you can remove the tags on things that say, don't remove this tag, and no one will come get you? And in fact, you can just remove all the tags off of everything. I learned this from Jason and my in-laws.
It's funny because I've seen those, and when I was younger, I thought like, oh my God, you can't remove the tags. But like, how would they know? But I think when you read it, I think it's just like, you cannot remove this tag before it sells. As the company or as a retailer, you can't remove the tags until the consumer takes it home, and then they can rip off the tags.
I think you're right, but I've my whole life lived with all these like flappy tags on the ends of pillows, mattresses, blanket, so many things. And like the second an item comes into our house, Jason is ripping the tags off of them. I'm not talking about like the sale tags, people. I'm not an idiot. I'm talking about the like the care instructions, and for some reason they get longer and longer as the years go on, of like all of the things that they have to put on there, all the California cancer warnings or whatever.
Prop 95 or whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, you want to know what I want to know?
Yeah.
What is Victoria's secret?
That her name used to be Victor.
Oh. Wouldn't that be crazy? I wouldn't be surprised.
They're going to use that as their next marketing tool, and I'm not going to get paid for it, and I'm already mad. Okay. This was revolutionary to me, and I literally just had this conversation with myself in my car like last week. Did you know that your car temperature doesn't have to be all the way hot or all the way cold? You can use any of the temperatures in the middle.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm dead ass serious. I only ever have it on all the way low for blasting AC when I'm hot, or I put it on all the way high when I want the heat to be on. And then I do that and I get really, really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of turning down the temperature, I just turn it off and then it gets cold in my car and then I turn it back on and then I crack a window. I'm doing all of these things and I was like, all I had to do was just set it on 75 instead of 90. What is wrong with me? I do the same thing with the AC. All the way on or all the way off.
Sounds like something I would do. So I'm surprised that it's coming from you. Because I'm a smooth like 70 type of person in the car. If it's like weird, especially right now, it's like freezing in the mornings and it's hot during the day.
Conceptually, I understand that you can adjust it. Like, I just blast it on either direction, max temperature either way. Like, it hadn't occurred to me to stop and use the thermostat like my house.
Right. Like, instead of like turning it down like the fan amount, it's like, okay, well, I just want to turn the temperature a little bit. Right?
Yeah. I always keep my fan on 1 and then blast my temperatures to the max.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm only ever using the extremes of the thermostat. What is that? Why don't I just always set it to like 75 or a comfortable temperature? No, I blast myself with 85 or whatever my maximum heat is until I'm damn near passing out from being overheated and having low blood pressure. And then I just turn it off and on instead of adjusting the temperature.
That is so interesting. I would have never guessed.
I only use my seat heater on maximum heat. It's never occurred to me to put it on a 1 dot.
I'm always a 1 dotter. That is so funny.
I don't know where I picked this habit up from, but I've been doing this my entire life. So, did you know you can...
Did you know, this is not on my list, but you just sparked a thought, and it's more so like a PSA, be careful out there. If it's hot in like Texas in the summer, and you have your little like recirculating fan on, that button pushed in, which I do that a lot because for some reason I feel like breathing the air that's been recycled in the cabin is better than breathing the air that's coming in from outside, like especially on the highway. Or is this wrong? Is this not how it works?
I don't know. I always think it's better to breathe the outside air because I don't want to sit there and breathe my own breath and farts.
Okay, I specifically turn it on when there's a truck in front of me that's blowing a bunch of like black smoke out, and like you can smell it, or like a skunk, or like something outside, and I'm like, quick, hit the button, whatever. I don't know, but apparently, says the internet, don't turn your car on and blast the cold air with that on, because something with the heat and something with the system produces small amounts of formaldehyde. And so basically, don't start your car on with the little circle thing. Refresh. I need to find the video. Maybe we could post it.
I think I'm tracking.
Okay.
I think that button's only pushed in my car if Jason's in the car with me.
I always push it in Kenny's car too.
Oh, this is another did you know? I'm sorry, this is getting so in the weeds about heaters and cars. So when you probably don't experience this, but if you have it on pulling external air from the outside into the cabin, you can't really ever turn it off because it's going to still have like hot air coming in off the engine, just coming into the car. Mm-hmm. But if you put it on the recycle, then it will just be like neutral. It'll like maintain. It's just circulating the temperature of the air within the cabin, even when it's off. Because he was like, why is hot air still coming off? And I was like, I turned it off. That's just what it does. And he's like, no, ding dong, put it on recycle. And I never have it on that setting unless it's really, really hot here in Florida in the summer, because I feel like the AC doesn't have to work as hard.
Yeah. Okay, all good thoughts. All good car tips. I love that.
I think it's are we back on you?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. This is a very complicated one. If a vampire bites a zombie, does the zombie turn into a vampire? Or does the vampire turn into a zombie?
Both. They become a zombie.
Or a
A
vampire.
zampire.
That's so stupid. Can you imagine the world with vampires and zombies? That's terrifying.
Do zombies even have blood though?
Wait, are vampires immortal?
Yeah. But
And
zombies
zombies
are
are...
undead.
Oh. Oh, that's a conundrum.
Someone who smokes weed should listen to this and then give us the responses. Oh, here's a great one. Background, I bought myself an espresso machine.
Do you love?
And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. But I got the milk frother with it because, you know, what's $50 more when you're already in for an espresso? Which has led me to this. Did you know you can buy the fancy brand of milk? Because I've never bought it before. I bought the fancy, all natural, organic whole milk, and mind blown, it fucking tastes better.
Versus what?
The generic. I buy generic everything. That's literally my next one. Did you know that you can buy the name brand of stuff if you want to? You don't have to always buy the generic.
MG. So you were just like, well, I'm an espresso girly now. Let me get the brand organic milk. And you tried it and you liked it?
I'm going to try it. It tastes completely different. When people talk about like when you foam milk, it brings out the sweetness of the milk. I always thought that was a ploy from Starbucks to just get me to say shit to customers. Turns out it's true if the milk that you have is good milk.
Like John. Oh, that's really funny. What milk do you use then? Are we allowed to say? Not a sponsor.
I don't see why not. I bought the Horizon.
Oh, okay.
In the red carton, the like all organic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Good.
I have the Horizon half and half organic, and that's good, but I have never bought their milk.
I could have this whole time. I did this the other day with heavy cream because sometimes I'll put a little beep of that in my coffee instead of half and half. I bought the organic Horizon heavy cream. It's like actual heavy cream. The generic pours out like milk. What? So again, did you know that you are allowed to buy the name brand if you're the one making the purchase?
Yeah, did you know there's a difference between the cheap generic one and the more expensive, most likely organic brand name? God, that's funny.
Yeah, you don't have to buy the generic things. You can spend the extra $2 and get the name brand Motrin instead of ibuprofen. And turns out the coating is so smooth and it tastes like candy and they just swallow right down your throat compared to those shitty, chalky piece of shit generic ones.
The Walgreens version of ibuprofen. I do those.
I've been treating this my whole life like some little gremlin was going to pop out and be like, haha, they got you with their marketing. And I know that the active ingredient is the same in things like drugs. So it's different when you're talking about like, especially prescription pharmaceuticals. But I married a person that always buys the name brands. And I was like, this is stupid. And then I took one of those Motrins and I was like, this is luxurious. And then it really got me thinking, did you know you don't have to always buy the generic?
Dying. Oh my gosh. Kailey, I'm glad you have that discovery because that's life-changing. Mine are like stupid high questions. Why is a boxing ring square?
That was an octagon.
What? No. It's always been a square. All the fights are in a square. Well, either way, even if it was an octagon, why do they call it a boxing ring?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone would want to get into the boxing octagon. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but now I'm wondering if different sports are different shapes.
Oh, like MMA versus boxing versus whatever?
Yeah. I feel like WWE is definitely a square because they use the stretchy sides like a slingshot.
Her boxing knowledge is great.
Maybe it used to be a ring and then we just kept it. I need to stop trying to answer the questions that aren't supposed to be answerable. Here's where my things have started to take a turn. Did you know that you can actually get out of the car when your husband offers to drop you off at the front door of a restaurant? and that he isn't going to think less of you for getting out of the car, and it's not a secret test of your like strength and womanhood, because he legitimately, it was his idea to offer to drop you off. For the first time he's offered, and I actually said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then I got out of the vehicle and I was like, I could have been doing this for the last 7 years of our relationship. What's wrong with me? I don't know what I was expecting. It's nothing he's done that would make me think that he was going to behave that way. I was like, no, I have to do everything the same. I have to prove I can walk in the rain. Why?
You don't want to be the damsel in distress.
I know, but did you know that if they offer, you can take them up on it? It's fine.
It's nice.
No one's gonna die.
If it's raining and Kenny offers to pull up the car, yes, please. Thank you, babe. Yeah, I'm not walking in the rain unless I am alone.
I mean, there's times where it's like, it's so far. I would rather walk in the rain than stand with weirdos and wait somewhere.
Yeah.
But up until, I'm not exaggerating, this is not hyperbole, up until 2 weeks ago, I have never said sure.
You're turning over a new leaf. I'm glad.
I really
deserve
must
it.
be.
You deserve to be dropped off at the door. Oh my God.
There, and I was like, he's offering, like he probably would rather me take him up on the offer.
So funny. I see where this is going. Okay. Back to my weird high ones. What color hair do you put on a bald person's ID?
Well, ask your dad.
Hey, he probably puts his original hair color on there.
Probably, but does he know that it's gone gray yet? I think there's a bald option.
No. Is there?
I think there is. There is on some things.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Now I really want you to ask Boyd. Where am I? Oh. Did you know? This is another throwback. Did you know that no one dies when you turn on the overhead light when someone else is driving?
That's a good one. Because my family, pretty much probably my father, was the one to be like, if you turn this, we had a little different experience, but he was like, it hinders my eyesight so much that it is a dangerous hazard to this car.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Like, I'm just trying to find my crayon.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you know that you can turn on your own overhead light while you're driving and you won't be blinded either?
Honestly, but we've had this discussion before and it does affect my driving.
I mean, it's probably not ideal, but golly, it's not like the world is going to end.
Instantly. Yeah.
Oh, you would think that I like put like a bowling pin under the brake for the level of like emergency that just brought out in my family as a child.
So you know the new cars with like the big ass screens now, like basically all the cars have big screens. So Kenny used to, when the sun goes down and it shifts to night, the screen should normally automatically dims.
Yeah.
To adjust. You can turn that setting off. And he did. And every time I would be driving with him, I'm like, it is blinding me. I'm also the person who turns my phone light very, very low, and I'll show him something. He's like, I cannot see anything. Turn your brightness up.
Is this like a national men and women thing? Because I literally saw Jason. This is Jason and I every day. I have night shift set on my phone because I'm sucked into the blue light theory. But on top of that, it's just bright. As soon as the sun goes down, the lights go down of all genres. And there have been so many times I try to show him, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? Is your screen even on?" Like, it's a joke now that he can't see anything on my screen at night. And I saw a meme the other day that was, or no, it was a reel. It was a reel on Instagram, and I wish I had remembered the couple. But the girl was looking at something, and then it was like when he shows you something on his phone, and she obviously exaggerated. It was like a really bright light, but her whole face turned white, and she like fell out of the bed.
Yes, 1000%.
Damn, I didn't know he did that with his screen too. That would bother me, to be fair, while I'm driving.
Luckily, it was his old car, and he did understand after a while, and he would turn it down when I was in the car. But luckily, his new car, it's not the same. It doesn't do that, so.
I just will never forget the first time I was driving or riding somewhere with Jason, and I dropped something and I needed to turn the light. I'm like, is it okay? I just really need to, just for 1 second. He's like, I don't know
It's
what the
funny.
big deal is. You can just turn on.
Oh God, that's great. Okay, here's a question to ponder very seriously. If poison expires, is it no longer poisonous, or is it more poisonous?
Or does it get less poisonous or more poisonous?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Either. Probably depends on the thing.
Probably.
Mine was, did you know that you don't have to prove yourself constantly?
Okay, I definitely see the path that we're on.
I wrote that down and I was like, that is a funny thought that I haven't really ever considered in my life.
Oh no.
And maybe if I feel like I constantly have to prove myself, maybe that's more, yes, there's some internal things, but maybe the feeling of constantly having to prove myself is maybe a little more indicative of the environment in which I feel like I need to be proving myself than of my own abilities.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. Is that like conditioned from childhood or?
For sure.
Yeah.
These are coming back to some serious family of origin behavior patterns.
Are you working through this now that we've
Yeah, it's so funny. My theme for myself has secretly been like inner child healing after I did some of the like trauma work in therapy. I just was sitting there and I was like, well, yeah, that's a fucking new thought. You could just do what you're doing and people either like appreciate it or they don't. I don't know why I can do this on YouTube with comments, but when it comes to my workplace, I go into like pterodactyl mode. I'm actually the worst, I feel like, around people that are friends or like not close friends.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
It's half my anxiety about like when my friends become moms. I think I'm like overcompensating of interest in their children. It's probably weird on the other end. I was like, Kailey, you could just stop. You could just have normal. You could just react the way you react. You don't have to do like constant feeling like I just need to prove what I'm actually thinking. I don't know if it's because my voice is so flat. I'm aware I have vocal fry. I don't need any more people on YouTube to tell me about it. This is my voice. It's been my voice my whole life. I don't know when it stopped or started. But did you know that the people who love you will make you feel secure? And then you can just let yourself be that way.
I love that.
Fucking revolutionary. Revolutionary. They're going to get worse.
Okay, well, mine are going to be the same stupid questions.
It's good. We need to break this
is good
up.
Breaking it up. Yeah. Okay. When I heard this, I legit had to stop, think, and Google because I was shook. Okay. Why is there a D in fridge but not refrigerator? Is that a little weird?
This reminds me. Did you know that there's a D in Disney? Because conceptually, I understood that it was spelled Disney, but every time I watched a Disney movie and I watched the swirly twirly, I thought that first letter was a G, and I didn't know what G in Disney was for.
Interesting. It is very cursive-y and looks different. That's funny.
I didn't see it as a D until probably I got D. It was late in life.
Okay, what's your next one?
Did you know that when your husband says nice things to you, he actually means them?
That is something we should know, and that's nice.
Right? I don't have to ask him to repeat it 500 times. I mean, he says nice things all the time, and so I think it's just finally settling in.
I feel like I'm just toning down your revolutionary thoughts over here with my questions. But if a deaf person got arrested, doesn't that take away their freedom of speech?
Sign language? Yeah. Yeah, if they're nonverbal, what do you do? I don't know. I already know the answer to this, but how do you handcuff a one-armed person?
Oh, how do you? Buckle it to their pants loop? No.
Yeah. I mean, something like if you're in, but see, what's hard is like, what if you have a wrist? That's my question, because you can't, if you just have like,
what if you have like half? Yeah,
a nub, then you probably don't have something because, you know, your hand is bigger than your wrist. So there's something you can tighten around it. That's my question, is if there's not a hand, because then someone could just nub you. But if you have one arm and if you were in like a jail setting, they would usually, I think, have the chain that goes around your waist, and then they can attach it to the chain or your belt if they were in like a pinch and you were in a.
I just really want to do the thing. I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I got a little derailed. Was there something else to yours?
Nope.
What was your original question?
A deaf person gets arrested, they lose their freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah. I want to know what happens if you need to speak with sign language. Well, how many law enforcement officers know how to read sign language? Probably 0.
They probably just take him in and wait for the translator to come in.
I know. That was rude. I know there's more than 0. But probably not that many. And I mean, there are deaf people who can speak. But if you are nonverbal and you entirely rely on that, that's very interesting. Do you know what? It's probably better for you because most of the time people get in trouble when they say shit post Miranda. So maybe it's the world doing you a favor. Okay. This one I've been working on for a while. This is not a brand new revelation, but did you know that you can choose the people that you keep in your life? Did you know you don't have to meet someone and then just be friends with them forever and ever and ever? Amen. It can just be like a part or a season.
Yeah, that's funny because I feel like there are societal pressures to be like, well, now we're in it to win it forever. No, I'm kidding.
It's fine.
Look at us. We're just sitting here doing a podcast. I'm just kidding. Damn it. No, it's so true though. Like you have more, not control or power, but yeah, you have like control over your own life versus having to appease everyone else. Especially as adults, it's weird to like go from being told like, go play with little Billy over there, go hug your aunt, floofy floof. When it's like you're an adult, you're like, I don't want to do these things. I don't want to hang out with Billy. I don't want to hang out with Timmy. I'm gonna just hang out with Sally.
Yeah.
Do you like my names?
Yeah, I really liked Aunt Floofy Floof. I pictured her perfectly. She has a little hair that grows out of a mole on her chin. It's going to be me someday, except my mole's on the side of my face, not on the bottom of my chin. Okay. Your turn. Okay.
I've got a few more. A fried egg and fried chicken are the same food. Have you thought about that? They're just at different stages.
Oh my God.
I did not go deep. I did not have a self-discovery with this episode.
I loved it. We need the lightheartedness. Oh, yeah. My last two that I wrote my last two are together. So I'll just read you my last final epiphany sentence to myself, and then you go first, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple more, but this is a good one. And maybe you know the answer. Why are they called cowboys when they ride horses? Shouldn't they be called horse boys?
I think it's because they were cattle ranchers.
Oh, see, I knew there was actually probably a legitimate answer to that.
Do you finish yours out? Because my last two are all together.
Oh, okay. Your first birthday is actually your second birthday.
I've always, people make fun of people who like add the date of your like time in the womb as to your age. Like if your baby's out of your body for 1 month, then isn't it like 9 months old? I mean, 10 months old.
But even it's like, I guess when your baby is birthed, that is their birth. Like that is the birth.
That's the day of their birth.
That's the day of birth, which would be the first day of birth. And then when you get a year later,
we need to call your anniversary.
Yeah. I don't know.
Your vaginal exit anniversary.
God, that's stressful. Okay, I've got one more. Think about it. Nothing is on fire. Fire is on things.
Unless they internally combust.
That's true.
You don't even know if that's real. Do you remember when spontaneous human combustion was a fear?
Yeah, people are freaking out.
Was that ever real?
I think it's happened once or twice.
3 things that I was terrified of in my life that were completely unrealistic that I thought was like it was way out of proportion. Spontaneous human combustion, quicksand, and waking up and finding out everybody but me got raptured.
Okay.
Terrors of my childhood.
My biggest fear was having this feeling and or dream that something was going to happen and I was the only one to step up and save the whole world. Like there was something about me that I had to do it, and it was so stressful.
You're going to need a journal about that, because that sounds like some childhood things that need to be uncovered.
Probably.
Last but not least, my culmination of all of this to myself was, did you know that you don't have to constantly create a war within yourself? Did you know that you can just relax, trust the community that you've created, and be at peace?
Ooh, I like that. Yep.
Who fucking
It's hard
knew?
to let go, though. You gotta let down your guard. I feel like all your inner work has allowed you to even have these thoughts, so that's good.
Bruh. I think 2 years ago, when I did Word of the Year with Aaron, I think my phrase of the year was letting go of the need to control. And it's been interesting how like the onion just keeps getting peeled back, and I keep like unwinding and unwinding. Mm-hmm. But as I was going through all of these, I realized like so much of this is like a scarcity mindset. And I just have those old patterns worn in my brain of like not having enough, or not being safe, or like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Mm-hmm. And it's been this really weird thing as I start to let myself just be comfortable and not constantly just be like, yeah, all the time. It's a weird feeling of like feeling really calm, but then all of a sudden that like old feeling of anxiety will come back. Like, it's too good. Everything's too good. Like something shitty's going to happen. You better enjoy it now, or else, because it's all going to be fucked in a matter of time. Like, so then just that's always lingering in the background. And even that I had to have a whole sit down with myself about like, why don't I think I deserve nice things? Like, why do I want all of my friends to have like happy, peaceful lives? And I somehow don't think I'm not entitled, but like I somehow don't think that's going to happen to me. And then I was like, well, if I believe in a higher power, and if that higher power loves people unconditionally and loves me unconditionally, and my shitty self wants good things for my friends, why would a higher power not want good things for me? Why have I been walking around in this weird life? I don't know if this is American evangelical Christianity. I don't know what it is, but I don't know where that came from, of like constantly rushing, never having enough, like feeling like something bad is always going to happen. And then this God that is just lurking to punish you and just wants you to be like miserable and grinding and like dirty all day.
That's interesting. I was imagining you when you were talking. I was imagining you with like literally like in the old times with like dirt on your face and a shield on your back and like trudging like you're about to go to war. And I feel like you've been like feeling like, that was a lot of likes. Sorry, guys. If I had to, from an outsider's perspective, try to reflect and see you as like always trying to like, you always had to be so strong and fight. And I feel like you're in a safe like place with marriage and your life and all these things. And you're so used to being in the war and fighting stage that you're realizing, oh, I don't actually have to like.
It's like, did you know you can unclench your shoulders?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can we talk about that? I gotta work on that.
Did you know that you don't have to grind your teeth all night? Like, keeping tension in your jaw isn't gonna save America. I don't know, man. It's been very interesting. So thank you for this weird assignment of thinking of dumb questions, because what I thought was just gonna be like funny turned into being rather insightful for myself. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I'm so glad.
I knew I was really going to fuck you up with that one because it took a turn.
It's okay.
But I also didn't want you to throw everything out of the garbage can and then go try to create your own epiphany, because that seems fake. And that's not what we're here to do.
It always works out.
It does. For everyone listening, I'm drinking my water bottle with my giant "No Step on Snake" sticker. And I recognize that I think this was meant to make fun of people who love the phrase "Don't tread on me." But I love the phrase "Don't tread on me," and I also love the phrase "No step on snake."
Yeah, you gotta explain that one to me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm simultaneously making fun of myself and of a group of people, but I also identify with a lot of the things.
Yeah.
Basically my favorite activity. So whether ironically or not, I'm just really attached to the sticker. And anyway, I just needed to tell everyone about it.
Well, that was fun. Good questions.
We hope you join us on Saturday for our Saturday morning shit show where we're going to have some more weird questions. Mine won't be nearly as deep. And next week we'll have another banger. I don't know what it is yet. But thanks for listening.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, and I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.